Welcome back, guys, to the EU West Challenger Series. I am Dignitas Stress, joined by Metas for game number 2 between British Tea Time and ESC Gaming, and what a game 1 we had for you guys. I have just about caught my breath. Have you, Metas?
I may need a bit more of a breather, because that was ridiculous. I mean, the opening, I think at one point it was 8 kills after 8 minutes, and then we had dragon fights, we had towers going down left, right and centre. It was just ridiculous action from the get-go, and we're right into the picks and bans here. Kazakh's banned out again. That is directed very, very firmly against D-Man, who plays a mean Kazakhs.
Yeah, and if we do not see Ari banned in this game, I'm going to be amazed. After the blinder of a game that Cook My Sock just had, it's crazy. I think he finished 16 kills, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was like 16-3 or 16-4. He was just brutal. He was everywhere. And again, we're actually going to see a Diana ban. So Ari has not been taken out of the equation thus far. Zach is a target ban against Caruso in the jungle, and there's the Ari ban.
Yeah, there's the Ari ban. Just so you guys know, because we have 2 streams running and only 2 spectator slots in the tournament draft mode, we are, just for the picks and ban phases, going off the stream. So that's why it may seem like it appears for you before we talk about it, because that's only because we're getting it when you see it. So Zed is the last ban as well. And again, Kazakhs, Zach, Zed, very strong, very consistent champions being banned out here by British Tea Time.
It's almost identical bans to the first time around, except for Ari. And I can't remember who was banned instead of Ari because I have a goldfish memory. But the same 3 bans from British Tea Time at least. I think
It was Elise.
Elise, yes.
Yeah, I just remembered it, and I'm expecting to see Taylor actually pick up Twisted Fate here, which I think he has thought about and has locked in, yeah. So it's very standard to see Twisted Fate picked up as the first one. Now that does leave Elise for ESC to take away, but Taylor proved that he can play Volibear very well, and I know his arsenal of junglers is a lot wider than just Elise and Volibear.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to have to quickly refresh the stream because I think I'm about 6 or 7 seconds behind you here, Stress. So just bear with me for 1 sec, dude, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, we can see that Elise has been hovered over here by ESC. Of course, as I mentioned, that might be taking it away from JMT Taylor. And we're just waiting to see who Brokey wants to pick up, whether he'll take his bot lane out for himself. And it looks like they want to take the Varus away from British Tea Time this time. Just going over to picks 2 and 3 now from British Tea Time, just to give you an idea of where I am on the stream. It looks like, as my stream freezes, in fact, 48 seconds left on the picks, just to give you an idea of where we are.
Wow, I'm like 10 seconds behind you then, dude. So yeah, that's pretty brutal, even with the refresh. But as we said before, ladies and gents, once we get into the game, we'll be spectating from the friends list. We won't have this issue. But as you said, Twisted Fate's going to be picked up again, taken away from D-Man actually this time around. Of course, Ari was banned out for Cook My Sock. And on the other team, we are going to have Varus and Elise. And has to be said, Stress, Varus must be considered as a top tier AD carry. He is simply in almost every single League of Legends game you'll see right now.
Yeah, he's just so, I kind of want to say versatile in the sense that even though he has weaknesses, he has, you know, a lack of escape in some senses, the rest of his kit kind of makes up for it. He's got the slow from Hail of Arrows, and then the Chain Corruption has poke with Piercing Arrow as well, and not to mention the true damage as well from those stacks. So, I mean, it's so... He's such a versatile AD carry that really we've seen him start picking up more so than Caitlyn we've seen. We still see Misfortune from time to time, and we can see that it looks like the jungler for British Tea Time at JNT Taylor is thinking about Jarvan.
Yeah, Jarvan and Sona, very strong. The Crescendo and the Cataclysm on top of each other is insane amounts of damage, CC, and will lock down characters like Varus. He's not going to be able to do a great deal because, as you say, he only really has one escape, and that's Flash. And if he's caught in the Cataclysm, there is not a great deal he can do. You can see the Fizz hovering, which is considered as a hard counter to Twisted Fate. So interesting to see. It may very well be locked in by the time that I see it on your stream, so I apologise once again for that, ladies and gents. But what would you think about Fizz? I mean, it does counter Twisted Fate, but is it really ideal in teamfight situations?
I'm racking my brain back. This past weekend, we saw so many games in LCS. There was a Fizz, and I want to say it was in the alternate game because it's somewhere deep in my memory that we actually saw a Fizz this past weekend at LCS, and it worked out very well as well. And we'll see whether the same effect happens here. And just to clarify one thing, it's actually magic damage on Varus. I always get that one the wrong way around. It's magic damage stacks from that blighted quiver. Fizz is a very interesting one, and he's going to be able to mitigate a lot of the damage that Twisted Fate's going to be able to do, because when that gold card, he's able to use the Playful Trickster to pretty much avoid any damage, avoid the wild cards, and have his way with that lane. But it's, again, with Twisted Fate, it's all about how you do plays from level 6. Levels 6 and onwards for the first couple of minutes after you get that Destiny is so important on Twisted Fate to make your impact felt. And I'm not too sure that the ESC really were able to have Twisted Fate stamp his aggression on the game. Cook My Sock was just so good at mitigating all of the mobility, all of the damage that Twisted Fate was doing for the first 30 minutes of the game that he just really didn't find a comfortable spot.
And the really impressive thing for Cook My Sock is that it appeared to me, or at least the feeling that I got, is that he was roaming and maneuvering around the map far more than Twisted Fate was. And how often do you say that against a Twisted Fate? I mean, Twisted Fate is the king of maneuverability. He's the king of ganking at level 6. Wasn't really given a great deal of chance there. Important to note as well that Varus and Sona at top lane, Chewed Up and Yerostar, did a brilliant job of taking down the top tower within, I think, 5 to 6 minutes or somewhere around that mark. So that again put a lot of pressure on Twisted Fate. And we do see a couple more picks coming in here. Going to be Nautilus alongside the Rumble. Rumble, the Equalizer, Crescendo, and also Cataclysm is truly terrifying to play against.
Thank you very much to chat for correcting me on it. Was actually Copenhagen Wolves where they used Fizz to counter Twisted Fate. I was just saying that 4 best of 3s and 4 best of 5s in, a short space of time is a lot to try and remember exactly which game, but I've got it written somewhere in my notebook. This is going to be an interesting one because it looks like we're going to have Koi playing that Elise up in the top lane, whereas, Taylor, I would have expected if he was on Elise, would have picked her up for the jungle. Cook My Sock this time, a little bit of a difference to how we saw Demon play Twisted Fate. Cook My Sock is actually going to take what I consider to be more standard and take Barrier. That's going to allow Twisted Fate to just survive any ganks. Of course, that's a good way of shutting him down, is delay him from being level 6 and then don't let him get back into the game. Very much so how Cook My Sock managed to mitigate a lot of it from Demon in the last game. And that's what Barrier is going to help him do when he sees Nautilus come in, instantly pop the barrier and get out of there.
Yeah, and additionally, it's very smart to pick it against Fizz, because Fizz's burst damage is immense. It's huge. Having the barrier could very well keep Twisted Fate alive, just to live to fight for another day. But ladies and gents, we have about 2 minutes 30 or thereabouts on delay remaining. So we're going to cut to a very quick commercial break. And when we rejoin you, we'll be ready for game number 2 between ESC and British Tea Time. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gents. We are live once again on Kaostv in the EU West Challenger Series number 3 with yours truly, Metis, joined by the lovely Stress. Game number 2 between ESC and also British Tea Time. If you did just join us and missed the first game, it was a very convincing victory. I'm tempted to say cook my sock because he was so dominant, but that's probably not really being fair to the rest of his team. But British Tea Time did pick it up very, very, very well at the end. It was pretty close at the start though, Stress. So, you know, ESC did beat British Tea Time the last time these two met. So perhaps they are going to bounce right back into the action. That being said, here comes Fizz actually with D-Man taking the points. Could potentially have a bit of a ruckus kicking off, but doesn't look to be the case, and they're going to pull themselves back.
Yeah, and game 1, game 2, I thought for a second was going to start where game 1 left off in the early game, and Ryman Simon hitting the Scar award right there, making sure that that's... Oh no, he actually got it in the bush. Wow, is that actually in the... No, it's not in the bush.
It's just out, I think.
It's just out. I was going to say, it looked like it, but of course, because we're on Spectator, it it shows up a little bit differently for us. Yeah, game 2, I thought was about to start like game 1 left off in the early game. We had very, very... fast-paced action for the first 7 to 8 minutes, and you ended up seeing about 15 kills by 8 minutes, and hopefully we get as good a game 2, because even though it started out, quite close and ended fairly convincing for British Tea Time, it was a brilliant game to watch and very entertaining nonetheless. British Tea Time are looking to invade onto the blue, and just a quick update from our other games. Peculiar Gaming did lose 1-2 against Gaming Gear EU, so British Tea Time are now stalking out in this blue buff bush. Whoa, that's a tricky one to say. Gold card is locked. There's the gold card, and the Demacian standard is going to land. Ryman Simon is going to drop for the first blood. Exhaust is going to hold Brokey in place. Are they going to be able to get on? There's the flash red card. They do pick it up. Yarostar picks up that kill.
Yeah, so 2-0 start. We do have the fast, frenetic, frantic start once again, and a 2-0 for British Tea Time, plus the blue buff to boot as well for Taylor, so that's going to look nice. Complete role reversal, actually. Last time around, ESC stole GNT Taylor's blue buff, so getting a bit of revenge right there for him.
Yeah, and Meta's proving that you're better at alliteration than me. That was some good alliteration in there. So. I managed to get it twice with blue buff as well. I stumbled over blue buff bush and I nearly stumbled again. Cook My Sock and Demon are trading quite furiously in the mid lane already. I'm expecting to see Cook My Sock try and put just as much damage onto Demon as possible. You can see there's already an invade out of Caruso he likes. Seemingly these around about 3-minute invades on towards the blue buff. It looks like Taylor actually managed to secure his... No, they actually stole their opponents, didn't they? So who ended up with that blue buff?
JNT Taylor got the opposition's blue buff, then I guess he got his own as well.
Yeah,
so
he did just get a refresh.
Yeah.
That was confusing. 2 blue buffs magically appearing as 1. That, yeah, Taylor gets the refresh, so that means that invade didn't quite work out for Nautilus, and he spent a little bit of time out of his jungle. There's the playful tricks to forward Demon, not quite able to land on for the damage, though.
Indeed. So that's in a nutshell what you were saying before. About playful tricks that nicely countering Twisted Fate's gold cards and the like, and especially later on in this game, the crescendo, and in fact, hold that thought for a second, D-Man is going very aggressive on towards Cook My Sock, but is actually being harassed back for his troubles here. Blue card comes in, playful tricks to use once again, but he does catch the edge there of the wild cards, and I'm keeping a very close eye on bot lane. Doesn't seem like any action is going down actually, just Chewed Up and Yarostar are pushing very aggressively.
Demon seems to be using playful tricks a lot here, and every time he does, when he lands backwards, Cook My Sock's just throwing out the wild cards, and Demon was just kind of running out of mana. He does have Flask and Mana Potions, he's making it back up. There's another playful tricks to forward. But I mean, he used playful tricks so much that I guess he's just trying to throw off Cook My Sock that, when he goes in, he might not always be all-inning. So it's a little bit of a... pardon the pun, tricky lane to play against is a Fizz, because you never quite know whether they're coming in for an all-in or whether they're just trying to harass.
Yeah, both junglers butting heads there in the river. Of course, JNT Taylor with the 2 bluffs, there we go, alliteration fail. Blue buff is what I was trying to say, turned into bluff. With the 2 blue buffs, he has taken a level lead over Nautilus alongside his interaction with those 2 first kills. So let's have a look at top lane for a few seconds. In fact, just hold that thought for a sec, because Taylor has moved into mid alongside Caruso. Caruso is going to be pulling himself back and Fizz taking Wraith, so I doubt anything's going to happen for the conceivable future.
Yeah, you can see that JNT Taylor's trying to get any vision that he can on Nautilus right now. Caruso's already shown us that he likes to go for those invades, likes to spend a lot of time in his opponent's jungle. Spending a lot of time around mid lane as well, just trying to keep on top of Cook My Sock. I mean, as we said, they've got to shut down TF before that ball gets rolling. If he gets to the point where he has the items to split push and has, you know, a couple of kills under his belt, has that damage from the Lich Bane, he's going to rip through towers as this game goes on. But there's a lot of pressure going on towards the turret in that bot lane, and Brokey and Ryman Simon are trying to hold on here, and British Tea Time with that Caitlyn Sona lane. Caitlyn just has so much range, and Sona so much poke. They're just able to hold them all the way back at their tower without really taking any damage for it.
Yeah, and as you said last game as well, one of the great things about having Sona is a sustain as well, so you can afford to trade with the likes of Vagina, because she simply isn't healing Varus back up. And that's, in fact, wait 1 second, we are going to have an engage kicking off here. Elise going on towards Rumble, putting down the flash, but JNT Taylor was hiding in the bush, will be pushing Koi back. And Nautilus is taking the double golems, probably going to just leech the CS XP. In fact, never mind, Koi going back towards top tower. So, lots of action. Ignites popped there from both Rumble and Elise, but Rumble, importantly, also took down his flash.
Yeah, I think Nitrix actually threw out a laugh there right at the end, seeing Caruso. Demon actually forced back behind his tower. Both of them are level 6. So, that means that Chum the Waters is available, as is Destiny. So how will this go down? You can see Cook My Socks landed a red card, trying to just burn through the wave. I think he might have wanted a gold card on that one, but wild cards hits Demon. Didn't use the Playful Trickster over it. Demon's reactions maybe need to be a little bit sharper next time.
Yeah, and we said before, you know, Fizz is regarded as somewhat of a counter to Twisted Fate. Well, right now, it's not really looking that way. Fairly even overall in CS, just Twisted Fate with 3 CS advantage does now have the Destiny up alongside the barrier and also the flash. So we may see something kicking off very shortly. Bot tower very, very low for ESC, 321 HP top lane, butting heads once again. The Flame Spitter comes out from Rumble and pushes Elise back somewhat, but nothing really going down just yet. A couple of pings towards Drake, and Twisted Fate is more than happy just to farm mid.
Something's about to go down though, because bot tower is being taken down by the minions, and there it falls, and just the amount of pressure that Caitlyn's able to apply. I mean, let's have a look. It's actually only 91 health has been taken off the lower tower. Sorry, basic maths escaped me there. So English and maths both, you know, being void of my brain in this game. Hopefully it'll start back up. Maybe the slower paced game is just what's holding it back for now. But D-Man picks up his blue buff, and Caruso finally secures, you know, some of his jungle for himself after Taylor took that blue buff to start the game. Taylor, however, has decided that top lane is where he wants to reside right now. Koi, of course, very difficult to gank because of the repel, but Koi goes in with that cocoon. Equalize is going to land on top, but Nitrix is very low. Here comes the repel, going to be able to land on Nitrix. Nitrix sticking on to Taylor so that Taylor can pick up the kill. Nitrix kind of just accepting his defeat, but I guess that's what happens when you're that low against an Elise.
Yes, that was a 1-for-1, but British Tea Time did in fact hold that thought for a second. Here comes D-Man with the Chum in the Waters, forcing the barrier away from Twisted Fate, who's forced to also use his flash on top of that. So 2 summoners burnt, and the ultimate on top of that from Fizz and the Ignite. But yeah, that was a 1-for-1 exchange at top lane, but Taylor did manage to get the kill alongside the Rumble getting the assist. So slightly ahead there for British Tea Time overall. They have just taken the mid tower as well, so looking very good for them. Pretty much a rinse and repeat from last game. They took the global objectives incredibly strongly, looking to continue on in that vein of form right here. Yeah,
and they're drifting towards Dragon as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see an attempt at Dragon. As you said, these guys, you know, not afraid to try an attempt at a Baron or a Dragon when maybe they might not be able to squeeze it out, but they don't really have too much vision on Nautilus right now. They knew he was up in the top lane, but they're looking for whoever they can on the map, and Brokey just about able to recall out of that, so not really confident enough to go for the Dragon. They're just going to clear through this bottom wave and make sure that it's pushed in towards the tower.
I was kind of surprised there watching Eurostar that he didn't just pop off a Hymn of Valor as he went into the bush, because it would have interrupted the recall and thus probably picked up the kill. So it doesn't cost a great deal of mana, but hey, what's to say that I would have done any differently, to be completely honest? So it's just a small nitpick. Either way, the bot lane will be recalling both Chewed Up and Eurostar, and we do have a couple pings in mid. Here comes Nautilus from the side, going out a tiny bit too quick, on top of a ward as well, so CookMySock knew exactly what was going on, throwing out the wild cards. And of course, Nautilus probably going to have to be a bit more present in mid now. With the tower going down, Fizz has a long way to run back to the Sanctuary of that second tier tower.
Yeah, CookMySock, when he came to the top lane, didn't use Destiny, so that's still available for him. And of course, you'd like to see that Twisted Fate would like to use Destiny. As you can see, Chum the Waters actually didn't land on towards CookMySock. Hello? Can you hear me?
I'll take over then.
Oh, his meta's lagged out. Apologies. Okay, sorry about that. I thought it was me, so apologies for the lack of commentary for that on the last couple of minutes of the play. I was trying to fix my own internet there. You can see British Tea Time have taken the dragon down as well. Hopefully we can get everything sorted with metas. Hopefully you can hear me as well. I was a little bit confused at how my game was still going, but I hadn't lagged out. Nevertheless, you can see Dragon did for British Tea Time. 2 towers down in favour for British Tea Time, 4 kills to 1 as well. Nearly 5,000 gold in the lead, and Koi actually manages to take down Nitrix and trying to keep on track of everything in this game. Koi is very low. Destiny is not available for CookMySock, so he's kind of just playing hide and seek right now with Koi. Koi gonna try and recall in the bush, but there is a Caruso around. There's the Dredge Lane. It's going to land. CookMySock lands the wildcards. Not able to catch on with anything else, but Koi doesn't really want to go in there. Caruso gets stunned by the gold card, and out they go. And they do manage to get away without losing too much, but that puts another kill back in favor for ESC. 4 kills to 2 now, as they push on towards this bottom turret. And hopefully Metas will let me know when he's back, but it doesn't look like he's in the channel quite yet. Hopefully he won't be gone for too long, but that means Ryman Simon is able to get that last hit on the turret to drop that for ESC Gaming. Tudor just a little bit late on that one, but they still have themselves a lead. The gold lead reduced now only to just over 3,000, so good passage of play from ESC means that they're able to get back in towards this game, and that's going to be enough to hopefully lift their spirits a little bit. They were not looking the happiest team at the end of game number 1, but it's a different game now. They've got different champions. CookMySock actually standing in a warded bush with that gold card locked, and Koi's probably going to be just chuckling to himself, knowing that they're not really going to be able to get too much out of this one. Of course, CookMySock did have a blinder of a game in the last one, finished with 16 kills. Now, a little bit slower start for him in this game, but if he can get those Destiny ganks going, that's really going to be where he's going to shine. And Taylor as well, trying to just get as much as he can around the map. Did look like he just crossed over that ward. Nautilus laying down the ping, but the pressure is on here in this top lane. Most of British Tea Time are up there. The only one that isn't is is Chewed Up, the 80 carry on Caitlyn. Twin Shadows was popped by CookMySock as well, so he's trying to get on towards Koi. Manages to take a third of his health down, but here comes Caruso. Where are the rest of British Tea Time? There in the mid lane. Gold card was locked and lands on towards Koi. CookMySock looks like he's actually playing distraction right now. In the mid lane, you can see they're pushing on towards the tower. CookMySock might be about to go down. Not quite able to get there. The barrier is going to let him survive just that little bit longer. Doesn't look like anybody's going to fall to the turret, but meanwhile, it's all going on in the mid lane. Nitrix actually dropping It looked like it was actually Varus that picked up that kill, so Brokey picks himself up a kill. Ryman Simon dropped very, very low off the back of this, and ESC are starting to turn this one around. Meta's still not quite in. Flash, and the Cataclysm has come out. Brokey is stuck in there. Doesn't quite have his flash. About a minute left on the cooldown of that one. Taken very low, and once again, British Tea Time put the pressure back on. 90 caliber net from Chewed Up. And Brokey actually, I believe, just used the barrier on that one as well. So that cooldown is going to be not available for the next few minutes. Top tower did fall for ESC, so now they brought this back to only about 2,000 gold. Kills are even, towers are even as well, so looking at where exactly the gold is right now, it looks to be mostly in assists for now. And CS are quite even for both lanes. BF sword and a pickaxe has been picked up by Chewed Up. That's a lot of ups in one sentence. Going for the Infinity Edge is only that crit cloak away. So that's really going to give Caitlyn a lot more front-loaded damage. Going to not be so much on the Piltover Peacemaker as you'd expect, but going to have a lot more consistent damage during team fights with that added critical strike chance. Bilgewater Cutlass has been picked up on Varus alongside those double daggers. Is going to be headed rapidly towards that Blade of the Ruined King, and it's a bit of a turnaround now from ESC, and you can see that they're starting to turn this around on British Tea Time. The gap is closing on the gold, and they're the ones starting to apply the pressure. Destiny has come out. There's the equalizer used only on Koi, though. Gold card did a lock from Cook My Sock. They're trying to get as many down, but Cook My Sock is so low on health. Taylor actually quite low as well. It was Yerostar picked up that kill. Koi picked up the kill on Cook My Sock as well. And I'm being told that Pulse is joining the game. Demon gets that the tide. And sorry, Chin or Waters Chewed Up, trying to put as much damage back on. Crescendo was actually safe, landed onto Caruso and Demon. Are British Tea Time able to take the extended team fight here? They end up, now it looks like we've traded 3 for 2 in favour of British Tea Time. And are you there, Pulse?
Hello, this is Meters.
You don't sound like Meters, but it is Pulse. Hopefully that Meters' internet hasn't gone all crazy, but are you in the game yet, Pulse?
Yes, I am. Hello.
Awesome. Glad to have you with me, Pulse, as we had a little bit of a hectic moment there with the team fight, and solo casting is always a joy. But it looks like British Tea Time managed to re-establish a lead there following that team fight. To catch you up on what's happened in this game, if you weren't quite watching, we had some early invades in the game. British Tea Time taking down bottom and mid towers quite quickly, but they've struggled somewhat to hold on to that lead. That team fight really now is the first time since taking that mid tower that British Tea Time have been able to exert their pressure on this game.
Yeah, so right now it looks like British Tea Time in a pretty dominant position. They're 7 and 6 right now, and they're about 3k ahead as well. But it does look like ESC is mobilizing around to this Drake area and might see another team fight erupt just in a quick second. The ward will go over the wall from JNT Taylor, and it looks like they may even go for this team fight as well. It will be smited down by Red Team, but they will potentially go for this team fight. Nitros is looking to ward them off as well. Cook My Sock will drop immediately. Cataclysm goes down, picking up another kill. Ryman Simon just trapped in there as well, but Taylor is kind of trapped with the rest of that enemy team right in the back there with Brokey just taking down Rumble as well in that Drake pit. Chewed Up now in a very awkward position. Dredgeline goes down and looking to flash over that wall, but D-Man will shut Caitlyn down.
Yeah, he started the cast of the 90 caliber net. Flash, I believe, was on cooldown. Yeah, used it in the last engagement. Started the animation for it, didn't quite get over the wall, and they were able to pick up the kill. Locket of the Iron Solari actually saved JNT Taylor. It was just enough, and he managed to sneak out of the back of that team fight. Janus had to go down to the bottom lane because there was a significant size wave, and Janus not the best at clearing that through, especially when on just over 300 health. Destiny has come out into the mid lane. Cook My Sock managing to land a lot of damage, allowing Taylor to pick up that kill. Gold card is locked. There's the flash on towards Demon. Wasn't expecting it, so no playful trickster. There he is to get the distance away. Gold card locked once again. Are we going to see the wild cards come out? It has to get it before the reset. Gold card is not going to lock. Playful trickster was reset. Wild cards just too short on the cast range. This fight is continuing, however. Taylor going on towards Brokey and Koi, but taking a lot of damage from it. Varus with that Blade of the Ruined King is doing so much damage. Taylor once again saved for a little bit by the Locket of the Iron Solari, but wasn't enough to keep him alive indefinitely. Koi caught out here, trying to get away. Nice tornado is going to try and keep British Tea Time back, but it's not quite enough for the double kill from GH Nitrix.
Hello, I think I'm back. I can only apologise, Stress and viewers. My internet completely died. So I'm loading back in. Can you hear me at the moment?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Am I lagging or am I okay?
No, you sound alright on for me, so hopefully you'll sound alright for our streamer.
Alrighty, well, I am back into the game here. Can you just give me a very quick recap as to what's happened? I can see it's incredibly close once again, 12 to 11, but is there anything specifically that I've missed?
Yeah, we've had a couple of team fights that have ended up not quite going British Tea Time's way. After they took down that mid turret, you started to see them start to struggle of taking control of the map. They did manage to take a dragon, if I'm remembering, if I'm remembering correctly, but a couple of team fights ever since that have kind of gone a little bit back and forth. They've been hovering around this 2,000 to 3,000 gold lead, but Nitrix did just pick himself up a double kill, and a couple of lucky escapes for JNT Taylor and D-Man really just ended up meaning that these team fights haven't been all that dominating in one way.
Alrighty, so you can see Cruzo moving down towards the bot lane. Going to meet head-to-head with Nitrix right now. Does land a couple of auto attacks. Is going to follow this one up. The Riptide flies out as well, but doesn't have really anything following up this. It's more harassment-based than anything else. Fizz was a little while behind in the form of D-Man. Going to be farming his way up as well. When I was actually last in here before I lagged out, in fact, 1 second, hold that for a sec, because here comes Jaden T. Taylor up on towards Koi. The gold card should be coming out here from Cut My Hook. Socket does actually land onto the Elise. The Twin Shadows comes out as well. But while the repel is actually being used, I don't think Koi's going to be able to escape this. Here comes the Cataclysm, and that's going to be a very, very dead Koi. And Cook My Sock does pick up another
Nitrix
kill.
is caught out in the bottom lane though. Demon managing to put a lot of damage out now. They don't quite have that Lich Bane on to Demon, but Caruso and Demon are going to take this tower down by the looks of things, and they are getting pressured in the mid lane as well, so ESC might come out on top of that engagement. So many members of British Tea Time were trying to get that kill onto Koi in the top lane, and the very nice Monsoon is going to make that Destiny pretty much useless out of Cook My Sock as it forced him all the way into the Wraith Pit. But he does pick up the gold card. That means he's going to pick up the kill as well. And they did lose their bot tower for that, however, but nice Monsoon there coming out from Jana.
Yeah, definitely. So you're going to have Fizz with the Lich Bane and also the Haunting Guys. In fact, JNT Taylor, as you said previously, not afraid to call for a Baron. They're going to be doing just that here. Rumble is going to be coming up right now from spawn alongside Chewed Up on Caitlyn. Elise coming in with the Repel, firing that one up. Going to be dropping back down again. There is a ward in there though from British Tea Time. Here comes D-Man, throws in the Chum the Waters, does land onto Cook My Sock. Gold card comes out, maybe a tiny bit premature here from D-Man, just trying to hold on. He is going to go down from Caitlyn. Here comes the cavalry though, Koi and also the Nautilus, but JNT Taylor will get the actual smite there onto Bounce. They pick that one up, at least takes down Caitlyn, but will fall herself courtesy of Sona. So that was a 1-for-3 exchange, plus a Baron on top of it. Huge from British Tea Time's perspective, and they have edged ever so further ahead, and looking like they're putting the bullseye on that mid tower right now.
Yeah, and as we said, it may not seem like the smartest idea at the time, but they just make it work. And they managed to catch on towards Brokey as well, so this might even end up that they're going to get the ace if they can catch on towards Ryman Simon. Flash actually came out from Cook My Sock. Wildcards didn't quite land, but the auto attack's enough to pick it up. And that's going to be that tower as well. Caruso and Demon have just spawned, so I don't think they're going to be able to push any further ahead. But once again, dissension in the ranks as casters. See that message that says surrender vote failed for team.
Again, it just makes you question what's happening on TeamSpeak. Is anyone talking to each other? Do they have the communication? Are they pressing the emo self-destruct button right now? Not entirely sure. I'd be very interested to step on that TS actually just for a few moments and have a listen in, see if anything is being said. Understandable. I mean, they just lost a pretty big deal there on Baron and 3 players down and turned into an ace, in fact, afterwards. So the gold deficit up to about 5.4k now. Pings down on towards Drake. And of course, the Baron buff on top of everything else going to be absolutely critical at 24, nearly 25 minutes through. Koi has started the Drake off. Caruso coming in as Nautilus. He does still have his smite up, of course, didn't use it on the Baron. Here comes JNT Taylor, will actually steal the Drake from under Caruso's nose. He does have 2 levels on top of Caruso, who also burnt his smite, so simply outsmited from Taylor. Huge plays, and another body blow to an already sinking ship of ESC. I mean, if they're already struggling with cohesion in the ranks, that Drake steal is not going to do any good to them.
Yeah, I was gonna say if Caruso wasn't one of the ones voting yes already, that might unsettle him and also unsettle the rest of the team. 90 kilominute by chewed up, trying to get himself some distance, but Fizz isn't exactly the easiest to catch. Can he get himself into Ace in the whole range? It is available. Does he have the vision? There it is. It's locked. Playful Trickster is going to come out. That's going to be enough to, you know, not let the damage hit. As words escape me for a second. Judah picked up the kill anyway. Caruso now he's going to drop to GH Nitrix. That Monsoon actually pushed Yellow Star away from most of the damage in that team fight. There's a double kill, and now 5 members of British Tea Time remain in this top lane, and once again they're just hitting their stride. They're finding that spot where they're just becoming a convincing team when they enter these team fights.
Now Destiny has been popped out, going to be going on towards Varus. Nice cocoon though from Elise there, and Cookmyslot will not be able to give chase. Having said that though, now in a very precarious position, 2 versus 5 situation, completely split from the pack here is Koi. Has to wait another few seconds before his team is even actually reviving, and he has managed to survive actually throughout this team fight, but is Cookmyslot going to take down this kill? Spider comes out there. Gold card does land from Cookmyslot. Here comes Koi and misses the cocoon, and Yellow Star will pick up his 4th kill. Those are carry stats if ever I've seen him. 4 kills, 1 death, and 16 assists. Very nice Sona play.
Yeah, knowing these guys like I do, I have a feeling that Yero won't let Taylor forget that he's got more kills and more assists than him in this game. So likewise, I'd quite like to hear their team speak right about now. They do find themselves 9,000 gold in the lead. 10 kills up, only 1 tower difference though, so the map control's not quite as you know, different as the last game. ESC still retaining some sense of their map control. If we look at the CS here, they're a lot closer than last game. Last game we had 80 carries with about 50 CS difference at this point, whereas it's only just over 10. It's around about, you know, it's gone back and forth between 13 and 15 now between the 2 players, and it means that they're a lot closer on that gold from minions, but 7 kills to 4 kills is going to be a significant difference, and let's not discount the 8 assists that Caitlyn has.
Yeah, and additionally the Baron and the Drakes on top of that, it definitely adds up. And right now, I mean, Varus he's still putting out a fair chunk of damage though. I mean, he has the Infinity Edge and also the Blade of the Ruined King. In the meantime, we do have some pings going down towards bot lane. Is Cookmyslot going to try something snazzy and pretty epic on towards Brokey here? Doesn't look to be the case. Brokey's just moving towards mid, towards his support and the rest of his team. And in the meantime, you're going to have Rumble and actually Twisted Fate coming around the side here. They don't have vision, so they probably weren't entirely aware of the situation, but now going to push down towards bot lane. Going to try and split push. Fizz is going to be coming down here, and more pings around the jungle area. At this point, you feel it's British Tea Time's game to lose. Like, they're going to have to throw this one pretty hardcore to actually lose the game from here. If they play slow and steady, they will definitely win the race.
Yeah, all they have to do is use Cookmyslot, split pushing to their advantage, and you can see D-Man was just waiting for him. This is the sort of thing that ESC have to make sure they get on top of, but there is a team fight going on in the mid lane. They'll try and catch on towards both. Chuda manages to take down Varus to start. Nitrix puts himself on towards a rampage, and regardless of what's happening in the bottom lane, 4 members of ESC have dropped. Cookmyslot gets his destiny on towards the inhibitor, and even though Demon took him very, very low, was not able to take him out before that destiny teleport completed, and Brokey has actually left this game. That tells you exactly the mentality here right now. ESC doesn't look like they're all that happy about how this game is going for them, and British Tea Time are right in front of the Nexus turrets. 15 seconds on the respawn. Lichbane on Twisted Fate means they're going to chunk through these towers very quickly. Good game, well played, coming out from Ryman, Simon and Koi, and British Tea Time will get their revenge in a 2-0 series here in the EUS Challenger Series.
And revenge in the best possible way, with 2 very comfortable victories in the end. ESC did put up a valiant attempt, but British Tea Time just looked in a different class tonight, Stress. They were very, very strong. I'd probably have to say the MVP for these 2 games for me has been Cook My Sock, purely on the basis that he's been everywhere as Twisted Fate and Ari, making plays all the games long. Very, very impressive stuff, but definitely deserved winners British Tea Time, who will go off into the semi-finals, which will happen tomorrow.